Hey there friends, quick update from yesterday's video of the Billings, Montana man who was arrested by the ATF, not the Billings Police Department, in Billings, Montana, where he lived across the street from a school, actually a little ways down from the school, but he was immediately across from the playground, a big field that was to the west side of the school itself. Again, school property, so I mean, I'm not going to split hairs on that, but nevertheless, it wasn't right next to the actual school itself, just the playground area. Now, this man was taken into custody, and from what I understand, he is still in jail at this point. Federal judge signed this for him to get picked up. They searched this man's home, and again, he sits in jail right now. Now, at first, we did not have a lot of the details. In fact, a couple of you sent me some additional links that I could not find when I did the original story. In fact, one of you guys was kind of a dickhead. Just a real quick bit of advice. If you guys have additional information and you want to share it with me, just send it to me, paul@legallyarmedamerica.com. But to comment in the comment section and act like I was hiding information is absolutely stupid. Unless this is the first time you've ever watched one of my videos, you know that I'm pretty good about not only doing as much research as I can to give you the full story, but even if I got something wrong, I will put out a follow-up video to correct what I got wrong. I've done it in the past. Again, if you're new to my channel, I apologize that you have that level of ignorance and you simply don't know that that's what I do. But that's what I do. Don't need to be a dick about it. At the time, we did not know if this guy that lived at this location was either on the sidewalk, in the street, how far down the street he walked, or anything like that. The law that handles school zones, or gun-free zones, if you will, excludes private property or the home, even though if that is inside that 1,000 feet of the school property, which clearly this man's entire house and yard is, but it excludes that. So he would be, which is really stupid that we've been talking about this because we do have the Second Amendment. I'm just doing this based on what the law actually states and how it reads. But being in his yard and in his home, he is, quote, allowed to have his firearm in his home and on his property and not violate the stupid school zone, unconstitutional school zone policy. I was just supposing yesterday because I didn't know. I was making the assumption that even though unconstitutional, if he was on public property, which was a sidewalk in front of his house, then that technically, based on the wording of the school the gun-free zone policy across from schools, he would have been in violation of that. Well, it appears that that is not the case. We also didn't know who reported him or how all this came about. It seems that the Billings man was spotted with a rifle on his property across the street from Broadwater Elementary School, and he was charged with that. So it says a charge of illegally possessing a gun within a school zone. But it says in that exact same sentence, not on the sidewalk, not public property, it says on his property. And here's the I support the Second Amendment but comment. I do believe that the guy has a right to his choice if he wants to bear arms, said Katie Hoffman, a Broadwater school parent. But he shouldn't be posted outside of a school where he could see children. So the fact that he could see children makes this wrong. That's absolutely stupid if you ask me. I can see children outside of my window right now where I'm looking. Does that mean that I shouldn't have a gun? This is the kind of mental conditioning that the anti-gun movement and politicians have done. They have demonized guns so much that this stupid broad thinks that if this guy can see a child on a schoolyard, that he is performing an unconstitutional duty by having a firearm in his hands. That's absolutely stupid. That is one of the most ignorant, stupid comments I think I've ever heard somebody say, whether they are pro or anti-gun. Now, Metcalf, the guy who was locked up, was interviewed by MTN News on Tuesday, and he told them that he did not intend to threaten the school or students and teachers there, but aimed to protect himself. Now, he was not in jail yet because Billings police had said they'd spoken with the man numerous times and could not take legal action because, I get this, no state laws were being broken. The Billings Police Department, kudos to them, admitted that they couldn't touch this guy because he'd done nothing wrong. He had broken no laws. So they knew not to violate his constitutional rights. But the ATF has never had a problem with violating constitutional rights. So they said, we'll take this one. Now, Bradley McGrady, a neighbor, said everybody has a right to bear arms and protect their property, protect their family. Second Amendment, but bearing arms like that is totally wrong here or anywhere. So we have another slave right here, and one of you guys made a comment in my comment section that some of these slaves that support this stupid little policy on gun-free zones 1,000 feet from a school, that they might be mad at the Metcalf neighbor who they reported because, and they noticed this, a lot of you guys noticed this on the overhead that I showed, but I did a little bit of a zoom here and you can see the property where Mr. Metcalf is has tons of cars and junk parked on it. So I'm pretty sure that a lot of this came out of the neighbors being ticked off at him for junking his yard up, and this was a way that they could try to get him in trouble. Now, another thing that I want to point out is they were talking about how from August the 2nd till the 17th, that he had been displaying the gun. School just started this past week. So all this time prior to, they're trying to hang on a technicality that, oh yeah, we're going to go ahead and mark this down as being a violation, but no school was in. So again, what stupid technicalities we have regarding these stupid gun-free zones involving schools, in that school is not even in service. And this guy is supposedly breaking a law, being across the street from a school on his own private property with a gun when school's not even in. Just wanted to put out a really quick kind of clarification, a little bit more details coming out about this. As you know, stories will sometimes squeak out a little bit, and usually it's your local affiliates that you get the best information from because they're going to the source and talking to them. But nevertheless, this gentleman is still in jail. Do I think it's right that he was walking around outside brandishing a firearm across from a school, probably knowing that he was stirring up some crap? No, I don't think it's right. But do I think that he should be in jail as a result of that? No. His choice was a bad choice. But what he did was not against the law. And that's a big deal. We have to make sure that we don't conflate the two. We have to make sure that we understand, yes, you can walk through a mall in your underwear. Is it the right thing to do? No, it's not. I wouldn't do it. I'm certainly not suggesting anybody else do it. This guy did not break a law. It could take people going to him and talking to him and just saying, hey man, we know you can do this. Is it the right thing to do? Like, is it a good choice? Probably not, especially because we have so many of these parents who are slaves and they have taught their children that any sight of a gun means you're about to die and that all guns are bad. I think this case is going to make its way to the Supreme Court, and I do believe Mr. Metcalf will be victorious in this. I can't imagine that this thing holds. What time of day was he seen with this firearm? Do they have proof that he had a firearm? In other words, are they going back on what they did before school started on August the 2nd? Because it did just start this week. Do they have proof? At what time of day? And was school actually in session? I think all these things are going to come into play as being good judgment call, bad judgment call by Metcalf himself. Either way seems like a careless thing that he did. Again, don't misunderstand. I'm not saying what he did was wrong. I'm saying it was a bad choice in some cases, just knowing what the repercussions were going to be.
God save the Queen, man.
I'm sorry, I thought this was America.
He's so horrible.